Girl, are you sitting on the F5 key? Because that butt is refreshing. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Today, we have a couple things to talk about. We want to talk about Relic 10 and the realistic expectation that it may enter the game, and the question of, should we just drop the Jabba farm in favor of Leia? Where does the priority level go? What does Leia actually get us? We have a lot of things we can expect from her and that we already know about. We should take a look at it. So let's, before we do anything though, folks, let's say thanks to my patrons. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate every single one of you. Seriously, truly, I can't believe you are all as awesome as you are. I would have thought that at least some of you would just really suck, but you don't. So, thank you guys for not sucking. Now, for those of you who want to support the channel for free, all you gotta do is hit that like button, subscribe, comment, help me mount the algorithm, guys. It's a good time to do it. Jabba and Leia are both chasing the algorithm's tail. It's refreshing to see, to be honest. So let's get into it, shall we? Whoa, we're in the slideshow. All right, so the things we want to talk about today, guys. Leia versus Jabba, and then is Relic 10 a thing? Who knows, man? I know if it's a thing. Actually, I know it's an idea. Now, Galactic Legend Leia Organa, or Glaw, is on her way. Obviously, she's going to be here in, I don't know, 6 weeks, something like that. That's typically about how far out a new Galactic Legend is after they are announced. And so people, I've seen a lot of people, a ton of people have been asking me, hey, should I just drop my Jabba farm? Like, is he worthless now? What should I do? Should I just drop everything and go for Leviathan? And Leviathan is maybe a better option if you want to drop Jabba for Leviathan. It's another topic, maybe, but like if you've decided you want a new Galactic Legend and the option is Jabba, or you could go for Leia right now. You can start working on gearing the new characters and start chasing and everything. The question is, what's going to be the better choice? Because Jabba is going to be a little out of date. I mean, not completely out of date, but it'll be a little bit at least, which is funny because I guarantee his mom never called him a little bit of anything, to be honest. Who knows if his mom even called him anything. Anyways. So what should we expect from Leia, I guess, is the first question that we should ask. She's going to be really good in PvP, almost certainly. There aren't any Galactic Legends that are bad at PvP. There are different levels of greatness, of course, but despite all of the hate mongering that people love to do about any number of Galactic Legends, and despite the out-of-datedness of a couple of them, I don't need some love, a lifter unit or two, that for the most part they're all good, and they all have been good since the very start, despite the narrative people want to sell. And Galactic Legend Leia is going to be no exception. She's going to be amazing. She is going to be the very top. Probably better than Jabba. Probably better than Kenobi or Lord Vader or any of them. Another question that we might have is she going to be Rise of the Empire relevant territory battles? Because Jabba has all 6 phases. He has his own node, and you can see I circled above my head. You can see Hoth is in phase 6, which she was on Hoth. If you guys didn't know, she liked to make Hoth chocolate. It was great. And then the bonus nodes. I just circled a random bonus node. I have no idea if that's going to be a bonus node that we use at all. I don't necessarily care. It's a long way away, though it's probably relevant for our discussion later, but we'll talk about that in a little bit, though. There's also the new raid that she is obviously going to be part of the speeder bike raid. I don't know what that's going to look like. No one really does. I mean, they gave us a little overview, but maybe it's cool. Maybe it's just the dumbest thing ever. I'm inclined to think it's the dumbest thing ever, but I will wait and see. I change my mind a lot, my opinion on things, especially because why should I be stuck in a position that I don't actually believe in? Who knows, guys? A lot of people seem to think I'm like that. I'm like, well, no. I just tell people I was wrong, and then we move forward. So, here's the thing. Leia also, we don't know this, of course, but so Jabba has Smuggler's Run 2, which is an awesome event. You get a ton of resources, and, for modding and everything, and I know that not everyone loves modding. It's funny because I used to say not everyone loves modding. Now I'm like, hell, I know not everyone loves datacrons. I just assume everyone loves modding, and I know that I know that not everyone loves any of those things. But if you want to compete in the game with mods and everything, like Smuggler's Run 2 is very, very important for that. It really, really adds up. And the question is, will Leia get one? And my friend Ando90 had this idea. He was talking on our round table for Gambit the other day. Gambit being my podcast. You can find the link in the video description if you want to listen to any of that madness. But he had the idea of, what if they just gave us another tier of the Ewoks killing the ATST? I mean, that seems pretty fitting. Maybe it gives Omicrons. Who knows? But probably we get some kind of new event that makes her a little more relevant. One would hope. And, I mean, the thing is, CG is going to want to sell their new Galactic Legend. Like, with Jabba, they made him impossible to ignore. They were like, yeah, he's good in PvE, PvP, in all the different levels. You want him immediately. And people, I feel like people were really slow to the draw. They were like, man, now I'll wait. I'm just gonna farm another Galactic Legend real quick, and then I'll farm Jabba when his requirements are accelerated. And I feel like pretty quickly people realized that they shouldn't be doing that. Jabba was going to be a good thing to chase immediately. So I mean, and that's the question, of course, is Leia going to be like that? Who knows? Who knows exactly for sure, but it does seem like Leia's going to be like that, frankly. I think she's going to get almost everything that Jabba had. Maybe that'll look different, but it will be similar. Now, if you decide to chase Leia and, her requirements and everything, like, you'll get Captain Rex. He looks really good, guys. And I'm not just talking about his rugged features. I'm also talking about his win rate with other clones, with his Omicron in 3v3 was amazing. And already, even without an Omicron in play, because you can't use it outside of GAC, he is already doing some really crazy stuff. I mean, having Phoenix assist all the time, it's really, really fun. In fact, I really have been enjoying the character. Even at 3 stars, he's very impressive. You also get the latest Murder Bear, and she does make the team better. It seems like she's just going to time people out. She's just, I emailed CG, I was like, hey, could you please put like 1 or 2 more rotations in her little swinging thing to be able to make sure that we just time people out all the time? I didn't message it. Some people are going to think some people take me so literally, and it's never-ending headaches. Actually, it's amusing, but it's also headaches. But it occurs to me, probably Ewoks get some kind of updated event as well that requires Nisa, and if she's just a little tiny bit better for the Ewok squad, then the people I've talked to, the people who know Ewoks better than me, say that Ewoks are just not going to be that good. Even as they're getting her Relic 7 or 8 or whatever, she's not going to lift the unit into something too crazy. And I mean, that's kind of disappointing. It just makes me think maybe we'll get another Ewok. Not that I want one, but maybe we will, because it seems like lifting that squad into, it's like, hey, you guys used to be obscure. You guys used to be really obscure. Now you're just obscure. Like, you can safely remove that really from the title of your squad until a couple other squads come out, and then you just go ahead and reattach it, because you guys are worthless. Now, Leia in general is going to be very good. She's going to be very impactful, very, very strong. She's going to be dominant in PvP. She's going to obviously be vital for the new raid. She's probably going to have her own events, or at least the characters who unlock her will have events of their own, maybe both. And she's probably going to have some kind of node in territory battle. Maybe not immediately, but eventually it seems like it. Like, Endor is missing on that map. You'd think that Endor was probably going to be some kind of bonus node or something. Who knows for sure, like I keep saying. But, I mean, besides CG knows. CG knows these things. But it just seems to me that she's going to be just as dominant in the game as Jabba is. Just as impactful. So you should just drop your Jabba farm, right? And one thing to keep in mind, though, guys, is if you don't want to spend money, you're going to spend 4 months minimum from now till you get her. Probably more than that. 4 months until after she has all of her requirements announced and we have all the characters in game for it. Then you have to wait for 2 months for the most recent character to go farmable, and then it's going to take about 2 months to farm that character. And so you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait a long time, a third of a year, which, I mean, that's not a crazy amount of time, but it is a substantial amount of time. And the thing is, Jabba is still someone. You could be farming him right now. And all the characters are farmable right now. We already know what the requirements are. And the thing is, Jabba is still relevant everywhere. He's still crazy good. And the only thing that's going to really change between if you list the strengths of Leia versus the strengths of Jabba, you have to think the only thing that's relevant is the raid, which of course the raid is that there's a lot going on with the raid. We'll talk about that very, very soon. But you have to think that otherwise they're going to be very similar to each other. She's just going to be a little fresher, a little bit more of everything, a little more relevant. But he's still, like the Smuggler's Run too. It's not like she's just gonna pluck that out of his hand. She's like, no, I'm required now for this. It's not how it works. Yeah, so you're really only missing a raid relevant team. He's still very, very relevant. And the thing is, he is available right now. Very soon, his characters, his requirement characters, like Chrysanthemum, Boosh, and Skando, they're going to be accelerated, so you can farm them more quickly if that's an issue for you. I don't know, because I'm not you, but Leia's going to be really important, obviously. Jabba is currently the most important toon in the game. He's the most important. He really is. He's just very, very important. And if you're not going to farm him right now, it just seems like maybe a little folly. Like, I don't know where you're at in your farm. If you're just toying with the idea of farming him, and you're like, oh, I'll just drop that farm. Like, it's just not a farm yet. So, it just depends on where you are. But if you put any substantial kind of work into getting Jabba done, I don't see why you shouldn't just finish him off, guys. The thing is, not to mention, Leia is going to be good, but she's not going to just block out Jabba. She's not going to just say, hey, you don't need him anymore. You still need him for the Smuggler's Run thing. You still need Jabba for all of the different phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes that he's going to be doing in ROTE. You still need Jabba to destroy people in GAC. You want him and you want Leia. Like, she's not going to just replace, I guess the GAC example is bad because she can kind of just replace his output temporarily, at least, though of course you want both of them eventually. But otherwise, he is doing a lot of things that only Jabba can do. So you want to get him eventually anyways. But I would hurry, folks, because I do think that we're going to get some kind of a territory war update, even if it's just for the rewards, and I think it's going to be Relic 10. Now, there's a couple different things pointing at it. I've been predicting Relic 10 and being wrong about it a lot, like for like over a year probably. I keep thinking it's going to happen, and it's not. Even as people are closing in on 70 level Relic 9s, some people are. I keep thinking we're going to get Relic 10 soon. Why is it different today? Well, first off, you remember just recently, if you play Territory Wars, if you pay attention to these things, all of the numbers disappeared off of the map, which isn't a huge deal. I mean, it's kind of annoying, but it's not a really big deal. The thing is, they did fix it, and it looks like this again. This is what it should look like. This is your brain. Wait, this is your brain on drugs. This is your brain. I did it backwards, but you guys get the point. And, I mean, obviously this is a really nice change to the nonsense of, hey, look at some circles. So, why is this relevant? Probably wouldn't, it's like, well, why did this break? Who knows? It seems like maybe they're working on code within the territory war area. I don't really know exactly how it would all look, but they're messing around in that area, you know, coding for other territory war things. This might be a thing that gets affected. The other big thing about it, guys, is in normal shipments, droid brains, and also the Relic 8 piece that's I'm totally arrow magnifiers, I think I'm forgetting what they're called. They're also available in shipments for some people. I don't think it's available for everyone, but we have a lot of screenshots out there for people who can buy these in just regular shipments, not the weekly shipments. Weekly shipments have their regular 5 every week. This is in normal shipments. You can buy droid brains and the arrow magnifiers, and that refreshes every 6 hours, so people can actually just go crazy on Relic 9. This is one of the bottlenecks to keep people from getting unlimited power. I mean, Relic 9s, but this is something that they do. They make this gear available. This is for droid brains of Relic 9, of course. They make them more available right before they introduce something new. And so is this all a coincidence? Who knows? I don't think it is. Honestly, it might be. It might be. But they changed something in Territory Wars so that the numbers fell off. They put them back on again. That's great. Cool. Thank you for fixing the bug. That, you know, these things happen. And then, but then they're also introducing new stuff that has previously been unavailable. And like people can just buy it now. And I know it's for crystals. I'm not saying like, hey, good job, CG. I'm just pointing it out. This is something different. It's something new. And we all know that the territory battle needs Relic 9. You need Relic 9 to get all the way through it. And no one's even close. No one's even engaging in Relic 8, hardly. Except for people who are spending, or people who just have really big accounts who have kind of, you know, they've been playing the game for 7 years or whatever. And I think that the new raid is a great opportunity, well, great by CG standards, to introduce Relic 10, maybe Relic 10, or maybe it's going to be Territory Wars that says like, hey, we have Relic 10 here now. Start paying attention, and we'll all just be like, the thing is, Relic 10, a lot of people are like, man, I hate Relic 10. I hate the idea of it. The thing is, Relic 9 has hardly been a nuisance to anyone. If you're not engaging in Relic 9, you're also not going to engage in Relic 10. I mean, eventually, though, they're going to need to make Relic 8 and 9 more accessible. And also, I mean, like it or not, guys, we really do. I mean, I do like it. I think our whales spend a lot on this game, and I appreciate them keeping the lights on. And they need more goals. Once you've gotten 70 characters to Relic 9, this probably starts being a point where you're like, man, I don't really want to put more Relic 9s on the rest of these. Like, they're not worthy. But Relic 10 might be new and exciting for them. So that can be a whale's playground, while the rest of us get more access to Relic 8 and 9 and start interacting with other game modes more. Anyways, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this. I know, don't hate too hard on Relic 10, guys. Just talk about it, though. I would love to hear your opinions. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Zareth prevails.